Hello and welcome to the Punk Wrestling Podcast. I am RM Punk and today we are talking Smackdown. Was a great show, as good as a go-home show I think can be in the current climate. It was another breezy show. We're going to break it all down and talk about each segment, see what we think. And later today, also look out for my predictions video, which will be out. Right, let's get into it. So the show starts off with Edge. Edge is back. You think you know him. He's got some decisions to make, and he says he's going to make them on Sunday. He says that quite a few times. On Sunday. I have to make the decision on Sunday. So, at the end of Elimination Chamber, are we going to get our answer? I think we might. He says that Roman's making a sharp play here, that he's given himself a good chance of being in that main event at WrestleMania. He's playing the numbers. Basically, he's saying he's got to choose between 13 different people. Roman comes out, says, you don't have 13 to choose from. You've got one. Because there is only one. You can pick any of these main eventers, or you can pick the main event. I am a 5-time main eventer, about to be 6-time main eventer at WrestleMania. It's good stuff. Edge says that last week you lost your cool. You've made it obvious that you don't see fear in me. What you see is me realizing I'm playing you like a fiddle, and I don't need you to be the main event at WrestleMania. You need me to be the main event at WrestleMania. If I pick AJ Styles, if AJ Styles wins, and that's the main event. If I pick Daniel Bryan, that's the main event. Whoever I pick is the main event at WrestleMania, and that's what you need. You need me to acknowledge you for the main event so that you can be the main event, because your ego's too big. You've got too much. It's too much up here. Do you really want me to go into and show you the dents in your own armour? Okay, good stuff so far. Out comes Sami Zayn. Why not? Says they're both being disrespectful. He's okay, gets it. Management doesn't want him around, but coming from you guys, 2 top guys being disrespectful to me, you think it's a foregone conclusion that Roman's going to win on Sunday and everything like this, but I'm the real danger. He's rabbiting on. He's like, get the cameraman, show me my good side, get me pointing at the sign. And Jay with a face turn super kicks Sammy's head off. All good there. Edge and Roman face off, and Roman gives the title to Paul, and he puts his hands behind the back, and he goes to Edge and he whispers some sweet nothings into his ear. We don't hear what was said there, and that's how the segment ends. Right, we got Big E coming out for commentary next for Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews. And Big E is not in your normal place of being on commentary. He's got his sofa out, he's got his coffee table, his little fridge with a lamp on it. He's eating a TV dinner and he's got his feet in a little foot spa. And he also looked like he had a bit of a blanket going on as well. Very comfortable, very happy. That's how you should be doing commentary. Apollo has a little promo before the match, says that he respects Big E, but it's coming to realise that Big E doesn't respect him. He says that his ancestors are Nigerian royalty. If he spoke to them like that, he'd lose his tongue. We're not getting another royal gimmick, are we? Please. Anyway, Big E's in the match. It's a good match. Big E, Apollo and Nakamura are having a good match. Big E is talking up Nakamura. And Big E's like, we're done with Apollo. Like, I've beaten him 3 times in 6 weeks. I want to move on. Can we talk about Nakamura, who's a true legend, a proper challenger? Apollo throws Nakamura into Big E at one point to go to break. Back from the break, again, he is still going, look, can we stop talking about Apollo? Let's talk about Shinsuke. And Nakamura ends up winning the match with an interesting pin. So Cruz has got him up in the gorilla press, and Nakamura counters it into an arm bar, which he then switches into a pin for the 3. Apollo, being Apollo, now goes full heel turn, attacks Nakamura after the bell. Big E's out there, and outside the ring, Apollo gets the steps. And Big E's like, listen, it's done, you lost. Apollo picks up the steps. He says, set it down and walk away. You're done. Crew does put it down. He gets in the way, puts it down. He goes to check on Nakamura. Apollo picks the steps back up, hits E from behind with the steps. Says it's over. When I say it's over, he throws the steps back into the ring. Goes Big E into the ring. He looks like he's going to hit Big E with the steps over his head. The ref steps in. He rolls to the outside, and then Cruz still holding the steps, and the ref saying, put it down, put it down. And Apollo's like, you want me to put it down? All right, I'll put it down. And he drops it over the ring onto where Big E is. Obviously, we don't see that, but Big E is really hurt. We get medics out. He ends up getting put into an ambulance. So it looks like this feud's picking up gears now. I've said it before. I said, like, I do feel like E should move on to challengers. I knew they were heading towards Apollo making a proper heel turn, and this is the full realization of that heel turn now, I believe. And we moan at WWE for rushing everything. I feel like this one went a little too slow, like a little bit too slow of a burn. Like, Cruz could have turned heel weeks ago, and we could have had this match, and it'll be going to WrestleMania in a bigger feud with like a Nakamura or Seth Rollins or something. Like, you could head in that direction with Big E. But it was all good. It was a very enjoyable segment. As E is being carried out on the stretcher, burn it down. It is Seth Rollins. He sympathises with E. He sympathises with Big E. This was a tragedy. Friends betraying you is always a tragedy. I know this because last week, my so-called friends turned their back on me. They betrayed me. We get a bit of a recap of last week at his return. He says it was emotional trauma. It's unacceptable in the workplace. He's made a complaint and his legal action's been filed. Months went into planning the big return, and it was ruined by you losers because they were afraid. Because millions of us have embraced the vision for a better tomorrow and a better Smackdown. But the biggest loser of them all was Cesaro, as he made it all about him. He asked for it and will happen to anyone who gets in our way. Embrace the vision. Nice work there. So it looks like we're heading to a Cesaro-Seth feud. I'm happy with that. That looks like a good, nice thing. And embrace the vision. Quick side note, how good was WandaVision? Loving it. Keep that going. Anyway, we get a backstage segment, one of many, with Edge involved. This one is Kevin and Edge. So Edge appreciates Kevin Owens, saying he's always getting back up. KO says he's been through hell. Roman keeps weaseling his way out of it. Edge says, like, you know, good luck. You know, it'd be nice. It'd be really good to face you at WrestleMania. That's that segment. Next up, we had the Riot Squad versus Natalia and Tamina. They're bumping a lot for Tamina in this. Tamina was very strong. Ruby was bumping around like a Disney cartoon. She was like all over the shop. But yeah, it was an alright little match. In the end, Riot Squad get a bit back when Natalia's in the ring. They hit a nice double team move, which then brings out Billie Kay. No surprises there. She comes down, but she's got a Tamina shirt on and she's got the cat ears on. She causes a bit of a distraction, looking like she's going to go into the ring. And Tamina hits her finish and wins clean. Billie is dancing, celebrating, raising with Natalia and Tamina. And for her trouble, she gets slapped by Natalia and super kick from Tamina. And then they celebrate. Poor old Billie Kay. What is she going to do? Again, it was an okay segment. It was nothing like amazing, but it was all right. And it just feels like they're going somewhere. Each match has something about it. There is a reason behind what's going on. And that's good. We had another segment, this time Edge with Baron Corbin. Basically, Corbin says, this is going to be the main event. You can feel it. You know it's going to be me. However, you've been gone for a while. This is my kingdom now. You should bow down. I've got, you know, $10,000 suit and $39,000 timepiece. Look at his watch. And Edge is like, yeah, I've got a cool timepiece too. And he gets out his phone and he's like, look, it's great. You know, it shows the time, can do emails, can even take photos, and takes a photo of Corbin, and Corbin like just walks off. Nice little entertaining segment. It was alright. Next up, the second ever episode of Ding Dong Hello. Yep, we've got the chat show up. Bailey comes out through the door, knocks over the plant on when she opens her door. Her guests are Nia Jax and Shayna. They try and go through the door at the same time for that ever comedy of two people can't fit through the door. Fine, whatever. But they get straight into it on bad-mouthing Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Nothing to note there, just general, how they're useless. And Bailey, I think, started it off by thanking Shayna and Nia for taking the titles off of them, so that she's going to be rid of Sasha. She doesn't have to be around Sasha anymore. Anyway, they're bad-mouthing Shayna and Belair, and then Reggie comes out. Good old Reginald comes out, says that he won't let you badmouth Sasha like this. Says that Sasha is greatness and everything like this. It says that, Sasha is a fine wine, whereas Nia and Shayna come out of a box. And says if Sasha and her sidekick Belair teamed up, then they would be the new tag team champions. Sasha then comes out. It's boss time. Throughout this segment, Bailey's out in the background and she's like, well, use the door. Use the door. Fine. That made me chuckle a little bit. But yeah, Sasha comes out and she's like, you don't talk for me, Reggie. And at WrestleMania, Belair is going to choose her because she's the boss. The world revolves around her, basically. Belair then comes out, obviously, tells Reggie as well that she's no sidekick. Bit of back and forth here with Belair and Sasha, and Reggie's like, no, we're all on the same team here. We should be fighting them, and pointing at the three of their Nia, Shayna, and Bailey. And then Nia accepts the match, so we now have. Bailey is like, what, me? You're not talking about me, are you? And everyone is shouting at Reggie to break. Well, it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. And that's what we get. We get a 6-person tag team match with Reginald, Sasha and Belair versus Shayna, Nia and Bailey. One thing I liked about this, which breaks with a tradition. Normally, if you've got a chat show segment, but it's going to lead into a match, because the host is wearing ring gear. Bailey was not. Bailey was in a turtleneck, so she's wrestling in a turtleneck, some leggings and socks. That's a nice little touch, those little things, as AJ Styles once said. But yeah, the match underway. I like that Bailey wasn't in the ring gear, like I said. Sasha and Belair are impressed by Reggie showing off. He does a little flip into the ring for no apparent reason, and they're just like, what are you doing? Eventually, Sasha gets the tag in on Reggie, and Reggie and Nia lock up. Nia's, showing how strong, how big she is, but Reggie evades with, as my notes say, some ninja shit. Nia misses the leg drop for some more hole jokes. She doesn't say it though. She doesn't say it. Sasha and Belair prevent Nia from tagging out by pulling Shayna off the apron, and then Reggie goes for a crossbody. Nia catches him, but then Belair and Sasha double drop kick Reggie into Nia for the 3. Reginald has pinned the women's tag team champions. Reginald for tag team champs. Later on, we do find out that at Elimination Chamber will be Shayna and Nia versus Sasha and Belair for those tag straps. Okay, cool. I will add that to my prediction list and I'll let you know what I think in that video. We get an interview with Cesaro next. He had heard what Seth had to say, but he was out there because he respects him. He's known Seth for a long time, and he was hoping when he came back it would be the real Seth, who is a leader, who is one of the greatest stars we've got. But no, he comes back as a self-possessed piece of crap, basically. Moving on, it talks about Elimination Chamber. Edge comes in. Edge is like, I like what Cesaro is about, like what you're doing lately. He says you've got grit, you know, getting the dirt under the nails. And Cesaro's like, yeah, well, after Elimination Chamber, it's them in the main event of WrestleMania. I wouldn't complain. Can't see it happening myself, but I wouldn't complain. Next up, Dom and Ray versus Alpha Academy. Now, this was a very short match. The Dirty Dogs are on commentary for this, and they're drinking out of solo cups. All the mind games with the Street Profits are on there. Oh, I'm scared. But yeah, they're saying Street Profits in a rear move. They're like rear move. Rear mirror. You know what I'm trying to say. Otis hits the World's Strongest Slam on Ray pretty early on to the match. Hits another splash, and then Gable gets into the ring. And he's like, no, you should run off the ropes. And it gets Otis to run off the ropes and hit another splash. And during this, the ref's counting because Gable's not the legal man and has just walked into the ring and rings the bell after the 5 count. And then Gable carries on, cheering Otis on, getting Otis to then hit a second rope splash onto Ray. Otis is like, you know, pumped up. He's been told what to do. On commentary, Rude and Ziggler are like, well, Ray's a legend. Like, even they're like, you don't really do that to Ray. So Otis is now really listening to Gable. Gable's been a heel the whole time. It's been fairly clear and obvious that he's a heel, but he is really starting to control Otis, and Otis is this big powerhouse. So it's interesting. You know, Gable's really happy with what he's got with Otis here. Yeah, let me know what you thought. Next, another Edge segment, this time with Daniel Bryan. And Edge thanks Daniel Bryan for inspiring him to come back. Because he's like, watching Daniel Bryan return really motivated him to return himself. Basically says, love you to win the championship. It'd be a dream match. People would consider it a dream match. Edge versus Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan says, long overdue, I believe. Agreed all around there. What? Main event at WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan versus Edge? Telling me you wouldn't want to see that? I know I would. Following that, we get another segment with Daniel Bryan and Cesaro, and they're talking, and Kevin Owens comes in and is like, right, let's talk strategy, guys. And they're like, yeah, that's just what we were doing. You know, but you know, we were worried about getting stunned. And Kevin's like, no, look, you can trust me. And then they start making jokes about all the times. Yeah, of course we can trust you. Yeah, you'd never turn your back on anyone, you know. And then they start reeling them off. And it's like Sami Zayn, like 4 or 5 times. I know it's Sami, but it still counts. Do you remember when you were the Big O turned on New Day? And then Daniel Bryan's like, oh, there's one more. Oh, I should have wrote a list. And a great callback to Jericho. Loved it. So like, yeah, that's just amusing. It's great. But Kevin's like, no, look. Yes, that has me. But look, I really want to win this match. Like, you don't have anything to worry about. There'll be no stunners tonight on you guys. Maybe on Sunday, though. You should be worried on Sunday. There might be a stunner or 2 or 3. And Sarah was like, you know what? I like it. At least he's honest. And Daniel was like, is he? It was all good. There was a lot of segments on this show, but most of it was entertaining. So, okay. Next up, another segment. Carmella is there. She's been waiting for her wine for ages, and Reggie comes out with the glass of red wine. And Carmella's like, why'd this take so long? And Reggie's like, oh, letting it breathe, making sure the pricking the right wine and letting it breathe, getting the temperature right. And Carmella's like, is that what we're doing? Like, you tell me that I didn't just see you out in the ring? And Reggie's like, it's not like this, not like this. Serves the wine. And Carmella's like, yeah, it better not be like this. She tastes the wine. She's like, oh, it's terrible. And throws the wine in his face. Okay. I don't really know where we're going with this one. Is Reggie going to turn on Sasha? Is this the whole big play? Or is Reggie just done with Carmella and is learning that Sasha is better than Carmella? I don't know. Then we get our main event of the evening, and it is Zayn, Corbin and Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan and Cesaro with Edge on commentary. Edge is bigging up everyone in today. He's been doing it all night and he continues to do it, just saying how great everyone is, basically. And he's studying. Cesaro was booked very strong in this match throughout. Hits the swing to Sami, hits the swing to Corbin, but it like falls at the end. So you're like, oh, maybe Corbin gets the upper hand here. But we come back from break and Corbin is back in the swing. And they try and pretend that he's been swinging the entire way through the commercial break. In the end, Jay takes over though on Cesaro. We get Heyman on commentary now. Edge and Heyman are going back and forth, back and forth. KO hits a nice cannonball off the apron to the floor on Jay. The match is breaking down. You get moves. In the ring though, you've got Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. And Daniel Bryan hits a nice double underhook superplex off the top rope and transitions that straight into the yes lock, like rolls through into less lock for the win, for the submission victory. Daniel Bryan wins. Then you get Corbin hits the end of days on Daniel Bryan. Kevin Owens hits the stunner onto Corbin. Zayn hits an exploder onto Owens. Jay hits a super kick to Zayn. Edge spears Jay. Then Roman spears Edge to close the show. Roman on top. So it was a good match. It was enjoyable. It was a go-home match. You know, it's Bookie in the Chamber. It's not going to be the best match in the world because it is just about everyone getting their shit in. So let's see what happens on Sunday. And to find out what I think is going to happen on Sunday, you will have to check my other video that will be up today, my predictions. But yes, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was, again, another breezy episode of Smackdown. Nice to watch. Enjoy a bit of wrestling. Have a good day, and I will see you soon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. 53% of you aren't subscribed watching this. So what are you doing? Subscribe to my videos, watch the content, get that bell, and join me on this journey. Thank you, and speak to you soon. Goodbye.